We are back. I made a little more space on this old telephone just so to be able to don't interrupt every 20 minutes. One important mentioning will be made out of many important mentionings. This one is from Rulesman. He's Italian. He made multiple very good videos. One of them is this single versus dual crown for enduro, and also very important, or even more important than this for me and for you, is the one referring to light or heavy wheels in general, heavy tires, knobby tires, tough tires, or lighter one, less protection, more inflated, so more pressure, and being more careful somehow to balance and to be better in general, not striking with your bike, with your wheels, with a low pressure in the tires, in the mother of the rock, to destroy the rock and your wheels and you and whatever galaxy. So yeah, it's also about the balance, but we will talk only about disc brakes. This is what he mentioned about disc brakes, as I stated in the beginning. Me, as my setup is for city or for a different bike. His bike at his 70 whatever kilograms, enduro, different bike, different track, whatever. Each one need to know how to select his brake system, brake rotors, etc. What was this? Alright, EM something. Why I open this? Because you will see at him just a non-cooled rotor.
Mini motocross bike. Step 5, the brake disc. Dorado is on 200 millimeters on, but I ride 180 on the enduro, and again, big difference here. I guess many of you now are wondering why I am on 180 instead 200. Well, I reply saying that I'm only 70 kilograms and I run good brakes, and I only brakes when needed, so 180 is more than enough for what I ride. On top of this, there's,
as you can see, no fins nor cooling, just some average or not that expensive fin cooled brakes. But when he says it is enough, for sure he means it's enough for heat dissipation, because if it was possible to brake without any disc at all, of course you don't need a disc to just spin and spin and spin and to maintain momentum, or to make you slower. If you can spot the difference even between this brake rotor and this one, he used something like this one, just a let's say stamped one.
Oh, 180 is more than enough
from a piece, but even though this one doesn't have fins, this black part is made from aluminum, different material which conducts heat better and cool the braking surface faster. If you want even more heat dissipation, of course you can use the finned one like this, or even more extreme like the road versions. Yeah, completely turbine, let's say. It's a basically turbine of air, ventilator, whatever. Back to Rulesman.
Well, I reply saying that I'm only 70 kilograms and I run good brakes, and I only brakes when needed, so 180 is more than enough for what I run.
More than enough.
Right. On top of this, there is actually a more meaningful reason for using smaller discs, and it's the weight. Keeping the unsprung masses light is
Oh, so the unsprung mass.
for using smaller discs.
One, what's that there? Grams. I try to read. 173 grams.
And it's the weight. Keeping the unsprung masses
One
light is
140, let's say 140. So 30 grams unsprung mass is important.
more than enough for what I ride. On top of this, there is actually a more meaningful reason for using smaller discs, and it's the weight. Keeping the unsprung masses light is a good little trick to improve suspension performance. The lighter are the wheels, the better the suspension works. So I created an adapter to go 180 on the Dorado. It was an interesting work to make my own custom caliper mount. They were thinking drawing, milling machine and hand filing, and the custom brake came up nice and clean. Sweet.
Alright, for the full video, which is badass, this brake is just a mentioning, let's say, just a leaf in the tree, let's say a small leaf in the tree. He's basically make an experiment about suspension, not about brakes. He made also one about wheels. For me, it's not that important to see these values, because processing them in the mind, yeah, let's say we can understand that different things can work or don't work. As engineers, somehow we also need to make these calculations exact or almost precise, so we can compete with other engineers, with bikes, with suspension, with frames, with wheels, with different categories of bikes, because that's life. So yeah, I don't go that deep into this stuff. I think life is not that unlucky to have me solving this big equation in life. But anyways, at a personal level, you can understand the ideas and make it work for you based on this algorithm, which you have to make suit you, your style. Back to the ABS problem, which I said is important. Where is that plate? So you can see how that look. Of course, you have older plate, newer plate. As you can see, the gaps into this one is let's say bigger than this one, Anyways, I'm not an expert into ABS, but the system is the same. It release the locked wheel, and yeah, this is the bicycle, the Bosch, whatever crap. You can see here is the sensor, the whatever, and the disc, and Magura for piston for a cargo bike. This is crazy. Yeah, I know. Whoever use that cargo bike, whoever want ABS on a bicycle were supposed to be simple, whatever. Come on, I want to see that. Oh. Anyways, back to this principle. So, I counted on a 25%, I don't know, 100 times 4 means 25%, square, whatever, half of the half. So it's 12 actually, 12, 13, I don't know, between each eyelet. And on the entire radius, that mean is 48, 50. And why is that important? Again, if we divide the entire circumference of a 26 inch rim, aka wheel, tire, whatever, we obtain 4 centimeters, 43 millimeters. Now, compare by your own this value to this one. So what you say? With an ABS system like this, each lock and release of the brake system, of course, will make your tire, your wheel, this is a smaller wheel, of course, say 20, whoever this scooter use, but anyways, for 26 this is the value. So please now give an opinion. Is this a big difference? 3 times with ABS you can obtain 4 centimeters, 0.3, and with the small 2 piston caliper you can obtain 11 centimeters. What you say? It is better to be able to lock and release the same wheel multiple times, more times, so you can maintain, aka control or regain the grip, or aka control of the front or the rear wheel. Let's compare it to bigger, as you can see, to the bigger brake pads. What you say? If you compare 4 centimeters with a how you can say, with almost 15 centimeters from 11, this means at each one brake, complete brake lock of the wheel, you add another one. which usually is standard for ABS, more or so, using a 2 piston or a 4 piston, without mentioning that with this setup of the brake is not about only braking, grabbing the lever, squeeze those pistons and lock the brake, or make this twice as fast as possible for the damn experiment. No, this is theory. If you add at the same possibility that you give impulse with your finger, and it can be in a rough situation or on the smooth one, you know. In the rough situation it can be more bad to make this exact ABS thing work for you, because accidentally you can just touch the brake, you can squeeze it, and the entire thing is even more complicated with more power, which came from bigger pads, double the number of pistons, whoever knows the temperature in disc, and so on. With the same values, now we take a look to compare these two. Again, from the beginning, here we have the difference, 160 rotor in the left compared to 180 rotor in the right. This is in centimeters, the circumference, so almost 6 centimeters in circumference. Here is the radius, 9 or 2, 18, so 180 disc compared to 160 disc. So this is the base value, which we will again use for the big pads, 0.4 as I presented, 0.4, and the small one 0.3. So we have the big pads, as you can see here. On the bigger rotor you can lock the rear wheel almost 14 times on the entire circumference, but on the smaller disc you lose almost 1.5 for the same pad. The small one before was almost 19, this time it is 16.7. Again, with the 2 piston smaller pads you can lock the disc, the wheel, almost 19 times, but you lose 2 times, more than 2 times with a smaller disc size. So if you compare only the disc size between them, oh, I made a mistake. I said before that these values are between pistons. No, these are with the same piston, 4 piston, but the difference is the disc size. So reducing the disc size from 180 to 160, you lose 1.5 on the circumference with the big pads. With the small pads you also lose 2 times. Alright, only from the disc size. If this is important, just by comparing this one, so the same 180 disc, the difference is 4.7 between the calipers. So this is more than only a reduction in it's almost double. It's more than double. It's more than double of the effect of the same of only changing the rotor diameter. In this case, again, 16.7, 12.5. Please, man, it is 4.20 something, 4.20. No, 19, 18. Anyways, 4.2. Alright, even to the small diameter wheel, comparing this 2 piston with 4 piston. But if you consider also that the disc brake rotor is important, and choosing it by default or random can make a big difference to you or to your riding style, maybe you should know about these things. So in theory I use 160 in the back, yeah, 160, I looked back, which allows me to almost hit 19 different complete locks on the same diameter of the brake rotor. But on the other hand, if I used 160 on the back, the same 160 in the back, but with a 4 piston caliper, this is a joke. Alright, this is just a joke. So from 18.8 to 12.56, man, this hurts. Is 6.2, 6.3, whatever, 6.28. Man, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's a very, very big difference, which of course if you don't know, so yeah, I basically should use in the back also a 180 with a small 2 piston caliper to have this. But anyways, now I'm at actually only 4.2 difference. But the possibility for me to gain more control in this situation would be to use a 180 disc brake rotor and to hit this almost 90 value. Back to the ABS. Is this important to have more more sections more elements which allow you to maintain control in each theoretical situation? I think yes. So maybe I should also, yeah, at least for the small value, let's make a live calculation. So taking this 26 diameter and dividing it by the value obtained from the big pads quad piston, which is this one, I think. This is, I'm a bit tired, let me see. Alright. Again, so but why I made here 14 oh, so to 12.56. All right, this is it. 16.5 centimeters. Again, in the ideal 180, which I don't use currently, I use 160, but anyways, I could actually stop from 11 to 11 to 11 to 11 centimeters on each patch of the tire. If you consider 11 centimeters, it's actually very big. But with 160 in the back, not my case because I use 2 piston, but with a 4 piston you have 16.5. Man, this is enormous. Just imagine, as for this ABS system, which is able to lock and release again and again at 4.3 centimeters, this is almost 4 times more. So in the same equation, I'd rather have only 3 times more rather than 4. From this point of view, and as I said in the beginning, this ABS global behavior, which can allow you from a 360 degree to basically divide that by 48 and to just skip from one position to another, regaining the traction or maintaining the traction. Actually, even 19 times, almost 19, is a very good value, which is important, but compared to 12.5 or different things like this, which can make the skip of the wheel from that long to that long, or no, anyways, something like that. It's a big and very important factor, because this is a this is the result, as I said, not as in the case of ABS, of those tiny spots which the mechanism follows, so it is almost automatically released and something like that. You need to do that manually in a specific case with a specific bike in a specific way set it up, which is not that consistent, which is not that precise, which, as I said in the beginning, it beyond only your finger, it is dependent on the temperature, the pads, the disc material, the outside temperature. If you ride downhill and you accumulate heat, if you dissipate that heat, if you maintain that heat, if you don't even have that heat as me, which very you occasionally brake with the front. No need to brake with the front, so there's no, at least in Bucharest, there is no temperature into the front disc, and I also can't grow up the heat and maintain the heat to actually come close to a optimum feel and operating temperature, and at least to a standard of 100-200 degrees in the disc, which may be the maximum of this standard low price disc. It's impossible. That would mean for me to accelerate and brake fast with the front, and then accelerate again, and then brake again as fast as possible with the front, and so on. So the cycle continues and the heat stays only in the front, and even then the maximum temperature of the low price disc wouldn't be touched, because it's actually hard to make a disc or caliper smoke. It's hard, let's say, or it's very dependent on the degree of going down a hill, so you can't manage that on flat. So again, in the situation when my disc is at an environmental temperature, because I try to save momentum, I try to don't use brakes at all, because